sometimes it can be really easy to find your marketing motivation, and other times it is so difficult. So in this session, we're going to look at how you can use your core inner motivational desires and focus to really help you grasp how to improve your marketing, and look at what we need to do to tap into our core marketing motivation to market and sell our offers better. My name is Klaver, and I am the host of Confident Content. And today I happen to be recording this on a day where, truth be told, I would probably prefer to be doing anything else than work. I'm in enough marketing. I love this podcast. But I'm in a peak stress day. Hopefully, by the time this goes to air, we will have either moved or be very close to moving to our new home. But who knows? Today, it's in the past. I don't know what's going to happen in the next few weeks. And today I'm feeling pretty stressed about that. And so that means that I am struggling to stay focused. And I am doing this podcast in a sheer act of will. Love you guys. Absolutely love you. And love this topic, by the way. And thankfully, I prepped this topic before I started. And it's a perfect one for me to do today. But I'm doing this because I know that if I am moving in 6 weeks or so, when this podcast comes out, I will be so thankful to past Rachel that she did the podcast. And if that hits anyone else here, if anyone else is really hoping that future you is going to be thankful for today you and doesn't know how to move yourself out of it, we're going to talk about it. And part of that is understanding where our goal motivation comes from in terms of growing our business as a whole. So I want to talk a little bit about core motivators. Now, the cool thing about this is these are actually core motivators that you can also think about when it comes to your clients, and think about what they need to know when you think about what's going to be their decision factors and what they're doing. All right, so let's just talk about them. The first core motivator isn't actually a common one with a lot of my clients. Like, obviously people like to make a lot of money, they like to do well, they want to have a business that's profitable. We should never, ever, ever take that away. That's what business is for, to make money. If it's not making money, it's a hobby. So we want to make sure that we've got that. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that if the highest value for us, our highest motivation is to have more profit and more financial gain, then it's really important that we associate our marketing endeavors alongside them. And part of that I find is really useful, and I've definitely had periods in my life where my marketing has been about that, when it's been like, I need to get money in, I need to get the job done, so I'm going to start making myself uncomfortable to get the stuff done. Is you really need to have really specific financial goals and then start associating them with content creation and marketing. So really learn and understand. So for example, you might say something like, I'm going to commit to doing 4 posts a week over the next 6 months, and they're going to have this structure, and that's going to lead to a certain increase in leads. Or I am going to optimize all my accounts and make sure I've got call to actions and everything. I'm going to work on my website call to actions. I'm going to work on my branding and push through that uncomfortable thing. I'm going to work on my emails or whatever it is, because I know that those things are going to help me improve my finances and improve my profit. And so when I don't want to do it, I'm thinking, I'm doing this because I need to pay my rent next week, or I need to pay my mortgage, or I just need to be able to eat something more than baked beans and raw potatoes, or whatever it is. So you need to, if profit and financial gain is there, set your marketing goals align with financial goals. And that also really helps you test what you're doing and actually look at it and go, is this marketing activity one that's actually beneficial? This is helpful for me quite often, that sometimes when I'm really tired and we have leads, but I want to keep that maintenance of growth, I do pull back on the things that I call the foo-foo parts of marketing, which are often the most fun parts, unfortunately for me, that aren't so important, to conserve my time and energy, but make sure I'm still getting the results. So it helps me make better decisions around what marketing I focus on. That's why I never miss an email. Emails are most important. So if I miss a couple of weeks of posting online, it's not as important as an email short term. So it's kind of working out and learning how to prioritize your marketing because of that, which also really helps. Another core motivation, which is really important, is people who are really wanting to build influence and building reputation. So if that's you and you're thinking about that and you want to do that, then it really can help you focus on really building that sort of content that is going to help you establish that thought leadership. So it might be about being more open, so it pushes you past that comfort barrier and it's going to help you learn to push and share more personal experiences. It's going to help you share more of, I guess, your real life and how things are going, so that you can build credibility about who yourself is and your authenticity. It also can help you do what I find really hard. Like, I've obviously wanted to build a platform and build more of an understanding of who I am. I hate asking people for testimonials. I have an issue with it. It's not even that they don't want to give them to me. I just don't like asking for them, and I've had to really work at it. I use my desire to build my influence and reputation on the fact that I then have to ask people for testimonials. So it has motivated me to do a task I don't want to do, because I know that task of doing that, and then actually the next step is sharing them, which is the other thing I really don't like doing. But sharing those testimonials and doing that has actually meant that my business has grown. And I only did it because I knew that I had to develop myself in a space that I was quite happy to just kind of take it backstage and just let other people say for me. But we can't do that when we're trying to build that ourselves. Another motivator. So I wonder if you've got either of those yet. This one is actually a really common one for me, for my clients, and it definitely was one for me when my children were younger, which is to provide for our family. I was a single mother for 8.5 years. I was the sole income earner, I was a sole provider, and I was a sole nurturer. And for me, I had to really think about how I needed to structure my marketing and my whole business around the needs of my children as well. So I would work school hours and nights. And so it's like thinking about like how you can structure where you fit your marketing in and go, if I want to spend that time with my children, I have to work out my time schedules to really prioritize that time. But it also means that I can use that focus on providing the family to really share about how my business supports my own family goals. And I think there's a thing that I see a lot of women, particularly in business, and a growing number of men, thankfully, sharing the insights that they learn from being a parent and sharing those things, which also then naturally attracts other people who understand it as well, which is really great. But having that motivation and reminding yourself that you're doing this for your family only works if you actually see your family as well, because otherwise it's kind of a disconnect for you, for your family, and for your audience. So thinking about what that looks like and how you can make that marketing fit into that to make it possible, and to also have a business that does well enough that you can be paid to not have to work over holidays or to spend time with your children, that can really motivate you to push and use that marketing and sales more effectively. Another one that's a motivation, and I think this is probably one that I also have a little bit of, and I know other clients do. The problem with this one is it isn't often necessarily connected to profit. And we do need to have that profit focus, because otherwise we can become too aspirational. We have a beautiful business that's actually a hobby, and then it's not a business that's robust enough to grow and get what you really want. But this one is a personal fulfillment or passion. So having that passion-led space. The problem with passion is it doesn't feed you. If you only are focusing on passion and you don't have that fiscal or that financial side around making sure it's profitable and things like that, it can actually end up wearing you out and you can get quite burnt out. In times of like people who have a strong motivation for time freedom, what I think is great about this one is it really encourages you to use marketing tools really smartly. Marketing automation, marketing scheduling tools. It can help you work out how to make sure that you reduce the admin load of your marketing and create systems which can create a beautifully structured marketing. Excuse me, cough. Excuse me. So thinking about focusing on creating evergreen content can really help you. One of my clients has almost created nearly all her content like that, and now she's able to supplement it with some beautiful fresh content. And it's one of the things I get my clients to do for in the Content Master Web, as we create a lot of this stuff, because a lot of them are time poor. They really value having time with their families, having time with their hobbies, and actually having time to do their work and for themselves. And to do that, we need to make sure that we focus on valuing their own time. So if you've got that as a goal, think about how you can automate things, simplify things, and improve systems in your marketing to help really enforce and excite. And it means that things like this. So I am doing this podcast today. It's because I'm trying to get 8 ahead, so that no matter what podcast goes out, my personality is I prefer to do things at the last minute. And doing it this way means that I am not only helping you, I'm helping myself by working ahead, so that when I am time poor in about 6 weeks' time, the content still goes out. And I do that all the time. I focus so much on batching and doing things ahead of time to help me do that. I find it hard with my ADHD. What I do is I have other people, I have things like the fact that I don't like missing something. So that accountability pushes me over, like that fear of missing something will push me over. Or with other things like my newsletters, my email marketing. I hate the fact that I'm using newsletters because I don't agree with that term and I keep on using it. But email marketing, with my posting and things like that, I have other people who post that stuff for me, and they are told if there's only one or two there, please come back. So like some of my posts I've written up to middle of April, July. I'm recording this in February. And I'm letting you know that to kind of show that process. I value my time. It's going to be very limited, and I don't want to let things slide, so I'm working ahead. And I find that very painful. I find it really hard to get in the zone, but it's really important to make sure it happens. Another one that can be a motivation is that motivational desire to help people. Again, we need to make sure it's still got a financially structured business. But if you've got a real passion to help people in that community contribution, you can align a lot of your content to show off that community side, which can really add fulfillment. You can pull people in and co-work with people and share and work strategic alliances to bring that in. It helps other people, but it also helps demonstrate your values, and it would give you more purpose if you're working alongside people. Some of us like to work by ourselves more. Some of us like to work in cohesion with other people. I like a mix of both, right? So you can do whatever fits there, but that is a really great way to kind of get fulfillment, is going, let's co-work this together. Let's do this problem together. Come in together with other people to feel more connected, and that will help you. You can also turn it into a thing where you're training or teaching people with your content, and then it feels like a motivational, meaningful thing for you to be doing as well. Just make sure you don't give all your goodies away on your how-to content, and make sure you're talking to your ideal customer and not put someone too early along the line. Another thing that I do find some of my clients have is a real personal passion around professional growth and personal growth. And so this is for me, like, I love learning about my mode and what I'm doing. And so one of the things I found is that as I have learned to use the content to learn and explore and play, it's helped me become a better marketer and marketing coach. But it's also provided me with content. Win-win. And so you can also do that. It helps us stay professional, current and growing, but it also gives us the option to create great content. So it is a really good way of kind of mixing those two passions together and actually getting that value in there. And that inspires me and makes it easier. In fact, I've just adjusted my schedule because last year I didn't have a lot of time for that and I really missed it. So that for me is a really important one. A similar one to that is also just being able to be creative. One of my clients is this amazing thing where every week she has like a little bit of time, which is her time just to be creative in any way she wants. And I used to be like that. Things got really busy. And so that's one of my goals this year. I've actually blocked out some time every 2 weeks, like for a day. That is a creative day to actually kind of explore and express, not necessarily just for content, but just to actually really express that creative side. And working out a way to make that work within my business has been very compelling to get my marketing in order for it. So it's been a big motivator to help that happen. Another thing, which actually I have no interest in at all, is getting recognition and awards. So your marketing can actually be created to share a particular face of the side of who you are and what you're doing. If rewards and recognition are really important to you, which is a valid thing, because I don't feel it doesn't mean it's not valid, then you could think about how to create content that's going to be standing out and remembered and very consistent with your brand values. It means that you're going to keep things nice. It's kind of like having an open home, but it's on your socials and on your website. It gives you an opportunity to make sure everything's tidy and good because you're going to want someone to have a look at it. So if you're wanting that recognition awards, it's a really good motivator to kind of get your shit together, essentially. One of the other ones that I think is the last one that I think is important, and I have definitely seen clients with businesses who really have wanted that, was that real desire to build a legacy, to feel like you're leaving behind something that is meaningful and powerful. And when you're doing that, you need to think about how you're developing content that really contributes to the long-term vision of what you want to be doing. Asking yourself, is this building on something special for my audience? Is this building on something that I'm proud to have? Is this helping me show something new and fresh that people need to see and hear? And am I making a mark that will be remembered? And so all of these are valid, and you may have 3, 4 of them. You might just have one. But thinking about how to work out what it is that's going to motivate you to push through, it will be very much aligned with what your values are. It'll be aligned with your current state. So obviously I've said, in the past, I'm an empty nester now. But in the past, definitely family would have been more important. And that might happen again, with other things. And children turn up, I don't know, 15 years time or whatever. So, but whatever it is. But there's all these different levels. Sorry for my children for putting that on you. I am not trying to tell you need to have grandchildren. Okay. We have this understanding, and I know that I wouldn't do that. But you might have needs. I might get a puppy. Might be what I need. But so we need to just be thinking about, what is it that I need to tap in? What is the core motivation that is driving me right now that I need to tap into? And yes, I did say before, if you've got a passionate business or a community or a legacy, you need to make sure it's still profitable. That's important in terms of the structure. But your core motivator to push you out might not be that. I'm just saying you have to make sure that's there as well, because that's a problem in lots of businesses. But what we want to do is tap into that motivation and use that motivation to help you push through. Because let's be honest, marketing, when it works, it's very simple. But getting to the simple stage really sucks. And marketing, when it's really working well, feels fantastic and easy. But getting to easy is hard. And I want to acknowledge that. It is hard to find the time, the energy, and the focus to get things set up the way they need to work. And a lot of us just don't feel like we've got the energy and the capability and the confidence to get that done. And I'm like that too with stuff, guys. It's just about plotting, okay? It's just about going, this bit's the most priority here. I'm just going to do this bit, like the podcast today. I've got other things I also need to do and schedule. But I prioritize things in an order. And if I don't get to the 6th or 7th thing, it's okay, because I got the first 5 things done ahead of time and sorted. I never get everything done that I want, but I prioritize my time because I know that I want to make sure that you have time freedom. I want to make sure that I'm building that influence and reputation, and I want to make sure the leads keep on coming in. Those things are pretty motivational to me, and those are my core motivators at the moment. I don't know what yours are, but those are mine. I'd actually love to know what yours are. Let me know either in the comments on creativecontentpodcast.com, flick me an email, or come into our Facebook group and have a little chat. But I'd love to know, and I hope this has helped you. Plus, remember, think about what your clients, your ideal customers' motivators might be, and how you can target those in your messaging. That's another little trick for another day.